You ready? All right, this is a method for replacing sails on sailboats. Really, it's a centrifugal fan. These would be floats. This one and this one would be floats. It sits on the water that way. And this is a auger. This is a propeller inside a tube. And so what it really is, however, is a method for picking up plastic out of the ocean. So we put this in the ocean, in the garbage pit, where it is. And wind simply turns the little fan on top. The floats keep it above the ocean. The little impeller pushes water through the tube into the collection bag, which is basically just like a nylon leg stocking that women used to use. And when the plastic bag is full, or the bag is full of plastics, then you come along, hook up a quick connect coupler to the end of it and suck the plastic out into your container ship. That's the end of the line. It's just a case of the squirrel cage fan is hooked to a right angle drive, which turns the propeller down here, which moves the water, and that moves it through the ocean at slow speed, and it collects the water and the plastic, which pushes it through the bag, and the bag is a little bit permeable, so it pushes the water out but keeps the plastic. The bag is full, you empty it. And of course the machine can have a little solar collector on top, and it can radio you when it's full, kind of thing. These will be landing spots for birds or whatever might be along, something to land on in the middle of the ocean or sit on, so they should be dedicated to that. And the entry needs to be a screened affair, which actually operates a little mechanism that looks like it's a biting mouth, so that anything that's alive knows to stay out of there. That's all. Alright, what we have here is a continuation of the machine to pick up plastic out of the ocean. This is a just sitting on top of the water. You're looking from a top view. This is a float, and this is the garbage bag. It's a fishing trawler netting with an appropriate liner on the inside of that. The water is sucked in through the tubes here and forced into the bag, and the plastic is left in the bag as water is forced outside the sieve. It is that simple. In contrast, we can have a slightly different type of impeller, which is open to the inside, which allows larger pieces of plastic to go in. It also allows fish or something to swim back out, and so that has some value of its own. We need to control the wind a little bit in a hurricane situation, so this is an open fan moving with the wind. This is a canister, a section canister that's pulled up and encloses the fan so the wind doesn't affect it. This is a simple pull the ship along. You can pull it or push it, or push it from the side. This is in fact simply using the wind to generate propeller power in the water to pull or push something. An electric generator, right angle drive for the machine to collect plastic or whatever. This is a use of a turbine on a already existing wind turbine out in a farm field type thing. You just simply attach it with cabling to the post that's already there for the turbine, with another post, and it sets in the middle, and the wind spins it, and of course just to drop a canister on top of it or above it, or use a section canister to collect a little bit more wind, and it generates electricity. Very simple. I'm going to ask you to think a little bit again, just because I had a broken leg and I've got a plate screwed to my leg, and it should be done differently, such as this method. This shows you a U-tube with serrations, channels cut into that stainless steel piece. This shows you the leg has been enclosed by that stainless steel clamp. This is the U that put it around the bone, and then you clamp it with a tool that simply forces it closed, so that then you have a bone that's completely contained within a pipe, basically, and it cannot escape. Which means that it can you can go ahead and keep on living, as for bones that are not completely taken apart and pieces missing. I suppose even that would be okay, but this is a method of getting back on your feet instead of waiting 4 to 6 months, and it is useful and it has value. You should consider it and force it on those who force you to do all kinds of things. Our reality is simply that we are in trouble as a world. It's not just simply a nation anymore. And so I'm giving you this kind of thing in the hopes that you will recognize that you need to think. You need to not just simply listen to what you're being told, but you need to think for yourself. Because unless we start changing what the people who lead us are doing, we're all going to die. The world is overpopulated with humanity. That means we have to go to zero, population increases. This war with Ukraine can easily turn into World War III. China is coaxing Russia on because they want to attack Asia. Once Europe is fully engulfed in war, maybe it'll be just like Japan did with Hitler. When Hitler invaded, so did Japan, because that left them open, nobody bothering them. And then we have, of course, all the delusions of nuclear weapons and so on, because the end result of it is, when you look out into the sky at night, all those stars ignited for a particular reason. They didn't just happen. It's not like the fantasies and the delusions of your universities that claim the sun is this and the sun is that and fusion and what have you. They are liars, and they don't know what they're doing. They're just playing God. Nonetheless, the current method of weapons of mass destruction is to put 8 or 10 1.5 kiloton nuclear bombs on a missile, drop them off in order so that the maximum force can be detonated and the maximum destruction can be done. That will actually, in fact, cause forces to be shifted, and it is that kind of impact, that kind of force release that caused the suns that are out in our universe to be ignited. Major boulders at high speed ran into these things in series close to each other, and the force turned, and it ignited a nuclear fire, which is what a sun is. It is a nuclear fire. The people who are, and why are you paying the people who released COVID on you? They've been working for years, claiming that they're just trying to create the next vaccine for the next disease. Well, they created a disease first, and of course then they released the disease. You can tell by how fast they were at it. Right there, 10 people dead. It's a pandemic. It is not. It is a release of university-created disease, and so they could sell you the vaccine. And they've gotten trillions and trillions of dollars, and they've gotten away with murdering nature, because nature is genetics. Without genetics, which is 10 trillion possibilities of just a start, your body is made out of just billions of things that all have to work in harmony, and all your universities are doing is pushing in chaos. It's like they do with bridges. They make it collapse so that they can then find out where is the weak point. They're doing that with nature, and it only takes one tiny little mistake that can't be corrected to cause our own extinction. This is not a game. These people are mad. Insanity. They are just plain, they are just plain what they are. If you follow the sewage from everything that threatens us, it all returns to a university diploma. Think about that instead of just believing what you're told. That's all. Since I want you to think, I want you to think in use your head in different ways, so you can recognize that you need to take control of your own life. Anyway, this is another method of collecting plastic out of the ocean. It's the barge solution. What we have here is just a bucket conveyor. Well, the big square box is a barge. Each one of these, 1, 2, 3 barges. Each has a bucket conveyor with a sieve on it to strain out as much water as reasonably possible and keep the plastic in. It dumps on top of another sieve on top of the barge so that the water collects in the big area and drains through slowly to collect the plastic. A sump in the bottom of the barge pumps the excess water out, leaving the plastic behind. So this one has the sieve rolls along and the brush on top here cleans it off. This one has different sieves. Same thing, just a different method of straining it. The still bucket conveyor with sieves that fish can get out of. Individual sieves, when a sieve gets plugged, it's released to the bottom and another sieve is drawn out. So this just has 3 different sieves to pull out. You can have as many. And it pulls out along a rod here with just shower curtain holders to keep it up. It looks kind of like a puddle or something. It just slings down like a hammock to collect the water and strain it out. This one, same thing, a bucket collector with a sieve, and it dumps onto individual containers that sieve out the plastics. Larger pieces here, smaller pieces there. Each one is a little bit different sieve, and each one, it fills up here and it cascades over to this one, it cascades over to this one, and cascades over to this one. And of course excess water is pumped back out. These require solar cells or a fan generator as well. And they can be actually programmed to come back when full. It is possible that it can come back when full. It is also possible that we can remove the last little bits and leave the smallest amounts of plastic behind by evaporation. A fan generator attached to the thing here, it will have a big open top for a lot of heat collection that will evaporate some, and a fan generator that's moving the conveyor and what have you can also generate electricity, which can generate heat, which will evaporate the water out and leave behind plastics, but you get solutions of salt with that. And if you want to, you can actually collect the water for freshwater drinking that you evaporate off in case somebody's in the middle of the ocean and in trouble. And of course it should have a panic button so that somebody could holler for help, just in case. With lights and warnings and stuff, so people don't drive over it with a ship. That's all.